Welcome back to Navigating Postpartum Wellness podcast, where motherhood and wellness meet faith, presence, and honest conversations. From Navigating Postpartum Wellness Media, we unpack the real work of motherhood beyond the highlight reels. I'm your host, Jaree Williams, writer, founder of Navigating Postpartum Wellness Media, and a mom of two. This space is for every mom who's carrying the weight of expectations but choosing to build softer, sustainable rhythms of wellness. Together, we'll talk about the inner work, breaking cycles, finding balance, and leaning into God's vision for your life. Because you're not just raising kids, you're raising the standard of living. If you have ever felt overwhelmed but deeply called to more, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Navigating Postpartum Wellness. Today's episode is one that feels really close to my heart because it's about something that I've lived, something I'm still walking out, what it means to start over at 30. And let me just say this up front. Starting over at 30 is not a setback at all. It might feel like it when the plans you had don't line up with where you are, but what I've learned is that new seasons, especially the ones you didn't plan, are sacred, even if it's not how you want. And if you're in your own starting over season, my resource, Quick Wins to Reduce Burnout and Overwhelm, might be a helpful companion for you. But I'll leave that link in the show notes so you can grab it anytime. But let's get started. So I'll be honest. I had this whole vision for where I thought I would be by 30. I know, or you can't rush timelines, but I had a vision, something I'm working towards, right? When I decided to step back into the workforce, my career, I decided to go back into the workforce for a little bit. I know you've heard me speak about the process in some of my previous episodes, but yes, that was something I was, trying to get back into outside of Navigating Postpartum Wellness Media, my income, even what our family life would look like. And let me tell you, my reality looks nothing like that vision right now. But anyway, it also does. It's kind of unfolding, if I may say. I thought I've landed my dream job role. It checked all the boxes on paper, but within 2 months, I was fired, y'all. I was laid off for restructuring because I was the newest person on the team, right? And at first, I felt like, wow, like that sucks. I've done so much for you all in that time being, but also in that moment, it was like God saying, I'm putting you back into alignment. And when I reflect now, I can honestly say God was looking out for me because that job had me tense, anxious, and on the edge of burnout. Even though I enjoy, having to check in my account every week, it wasn't challenging enough for me. And still, I showed up with everything I had because that's who I am. High functioning, keep it together even when it's breaking me because I am goal oriented, right? But meanwhile, my kids were home. I was scrambling to get them on a schedule that fit around my calls. I did have a support too, but it was just still, that tension. You feel like, oh, okay, I need to get this done so I can go see what they're doing. And the truth is, if my husband and I had been both working from home at the same time, it probably would have been chaos in our house, like pure chaos, right? So yes, it hurt to lose that paycheck at the time. It hurts to think I was starting over again, especially since on the plans and the goals that we've written down to plan like with 2 incomes. But deep down, there was also this moment of relief because more income might have helped our finances, but it would have cost me presence. And if presence is something I refuse to sacrifice with my kids. That tension between income and presence is exactly why I wrote For the Love of You, A Mom's Guide to Beating Burnout. It's there to remind you that your health and wellness are worth protecting. And that will be linked in the show notes. But here's what I learned. Sometimes being laid off, being redirected, being slowed down, it's not punishment, it's alignment. Starting over doesn't mean you're behind. It means you're being rerouted. And it's crazy? The day that I was laid off was the day before my birthday, and I was turning 30. And although I was hurt, but when I went out to eat with my husband on my birthday and we were talking, he was asking me what was on my heart. And I was like, to be honest, I think this is a blessing. Like the day before my birthday, like that just God showing me that He's putting me back in alignment because I had so much peace. Yes, I was hurt, y'all. I was like, man, I won't be able to do this right now, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I'm still in that in between, but now I'm back to creating more. Like, I'm able to write. I'm able to go and try new places with my kids during the weekend, still be good financially. But it's just like, wow, like it was humbling, but it was aligning me back. And God showed me this 30 error is about walking in alignment with God, like staying in that alignment. Because I was in alignment, but then I got distracted, like, oh, let me go make me some extra income. When in reality, that's not what He wanted me to be doing. He wanted me to stay focused on what He already called me to do. So I'm 30 years old, and guess what? I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Not where I planned to be, but where God placed me. And I can smile about that right now because I'm like, thank you for putting me back in alignment, because I haven't had tension. In those moments where I start spiraling and questioning it all, I get wheeled back into God's word of saying how, like, I will take care of you, or don't despise the small beginnings, because even when I reflect on my business journey or my parenting journey, life journey, I still see how much I've done, and I know how much He has for me to come. So that's what's grounding me, and the community is grounding me. And I want you to know you're exactly where you're supposed to be too. Here's what the season is teaching me about embracing change and trusting God in the unknown. Because right now, I told my husband, I have no plans right now. Okay, I have just the small steps that I'm focusing on every single day, which is my first one to tell you. Take small steps. Even when you don't know what's next, fear will tell you to freeze, but faith is built in motion. Like, I'm going to be transparent. About time this episode drops, there will be my first freelance post live, right? And when I first applied to this platform, I was rejected. And the week after I was laid off, I submitted a writing piece, and a week later, they were like, congratulations, we want to publish your piece. And that's because I took that small step. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they're going to be like, oh, well, this is the piece or no. I was like, God, I trust you. And I submitted my writing piece. And that was like another glimmer of God saying, see, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you are making impact, right? My other advice would be to be productive, not just busy. Y'all know I do not believe in busy, because busy keeps you distracted, but productivity keeps you aligned. It lets you take those small steps, and you're building onto those small steps. So even if today you wake up and you eat a fulfilling meal that's going to help you nourish your body, that's a small step. You taking a walk outside, that's a small step. You journaling your thoughts out, that's a small step, right? Take those small steps. Make sure your list is productive, not just busy, because busy is going to distract you when productivity helps you continue to move forward towards where you're supposed to be. My last one is to say yes to your health. Without wellness, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you won't be able to be good for anybody else. So dedicate a day to rest and moments in your day to simply be. Not just sleep. Sleep is a type of form of rest, but just being, just sitting there, not scrolling, not texting people back, just being in the present. Even if you're sitting in God's presence, even if you're just sitting in nature, like, just be present, just be. If you need to just put your hand over your heart, or you need to like look around and know that you're still alive and you still have so much purpose, do it. It's going to fill you up. So if you're in a season where life feels slower, harder, or just not what you imagine, I want you to hear me. It's not a setback. It's a holy ground. Keep showing up. Keep trusting God's vision over your own. And remember, starting over at 30 or any age at that can be the most sacred reset of your life. And if you want to walk this out with community, I'd love for you to join me in the Aligned Mama Collective. It's where I share behind the scenes, podcasts, reflections, and support for moms choosing faith and wellness over hustle. And the link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed this episode. There's so much more to come. If you're like, I want to hear more, binge more episodes, but I also have the articles on navigatingpostpartumwellness.com where you can read even more writings. And I just love you all so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to share it with a friend, leave a review. And I just can't wait to see what happens in this season. And I'm grateful for you coming along with it. And also, subscribe to the newsletter, okay? Subscribe to the newsletter so you can get weekly emails from me as well. I know that was a lot, but I'm just grateful that you're here. And until next time. Thanks for spending time with me on Navigating Postpartum Wellness. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to leave a review and check out the resources linked in the show notes, from quick wellness guides to my membership community, the Aligned Mama Collective, or better yet, come join me inside the Aligned Mama Collective, a space where moms like you are choosing faith, rest, and presence over hustle. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new conversation. And if this episode encouraged you, share it with a friend who might need it too. I'll see you next time.